everybody, it's me, Colton Johnson with Empty Popcorn Bucket Productions. I just went and saw Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I just have to say, I think I have a new favorite movie of the year. And with most Marvel movies, obviously, I bought a shirt, and I couldn't go see a movie of the Spider-Man or Marvel, all that, without getting the 44-ounce souvenir cup. For someone whose channel is Empty Popcorn Bucket Productions, I get the water, not water cup, the soda cups, but never the popcorn buckets. But that's besides the point. So, Spider-Man Brand New Day takes place after No Way Home, obviously. And at the end of No Way Home, the spell that Doctor Strange cast made everybody forget who Peter Parker was. And so we're in a world where no one remembers who Peter Parker is. And I think that calls for some incredible storytelling that this movie was able to execute beautifully. Tom Holland is incredible. Kind of just some contextual background with the production of this movie and just with context of movies in general. There's 3 cast members in particular that are in this movie that are also in another movie that released several weeks ago, which is The Odyssey. So we have Zendaya, John Bernthal, and Tom Holland. All of them were in The Odyssey, and then all 3 of them were also in Spider-Man Brand New Day with pretty decent sized roles for both movies. And when they were in early production for this movie in particular, Sony gave Tom Holland the dates of recording or filming the movie and stuff. And around that same time is when Christopher Nolan approached Tom Holland about being in The Odyssey, which was a predicament for Tom Holland because, contracts and all that stuff. So he literally went to Sony and was like, I'm doing Nolan's film, if you like it or not. But I still want to do Spider-Man. But if we're still going to do Spider-Man, I want to do it the way the fans want. And so, in my opinion, I think it delivered in that execution of giving us what we wanted, but not in a selfish way. I felt like this movie was uniquely and inherently a Spider-Man movie at face value, but also on the ground level perspective. This movie was a Peter Parker Spider-Man character story that delivered one of the most compelling Spider-Man stories that we've ever gotten on the big screen. It kind of reminded me of Thunderbolts in a way of taking into account mental health and how that can take a toll, living almost this double life as a superhero, but also trying to fit in, but then basically having your life taken away from you. Like, the identity that you are is not there anymore, and you lean more towards that superhero side because at the ground level of the identity, there's nothing there. And so there builds that loneliness and that depression that we see that chemical change within Peter Parker throughout this movie. Also, at the same time, we get to see the perspective of Spider-Man's best friends and girlfriend, or former girlfriend, if you will. And you can see just how sad Peter Parker is and how alone he feels. There are so many wonderful moments in this movie that captured that. And just the tone in general. This feels like a very serious Spider-Man, but it also is hilarious, very lighthearted, but it matches that tone with a very emotionally depth movie. And I think this is what we needed in a Spider-Man film. Another thing that I thought was really great from this movie was how it takes the character of Spider-Man and we get to see that change. But also, there's also, oh my gosh, the suit. I have to talk about the suit. Probably my favorite Spider-Man suit because for canon purposes, it makes sense that he draws inspiration from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and I think that is brilliant, and it calls for an amazing suit. Other aspects of this film, aside from Spider-Man itself, it has a stacked cast, and the characters all serve their roles in such beautiful ways. Obviously, we have Zendaya, who offers an amazing performance as MJ, and her role in this film I thought was very well done, and it doesn't give the audience too much, but enough to be satisfied. Obviously, Ned is amazing. Jacob Batalon is awesome. He's so funny, and he brings so much character to Ned that it's wonderful. Obviously, Sadie Sink is in this movie, and this is a spoiler-free review, so I won't fully go into that character, but her performance is honestly one of the best performances in the film. It is really well done, and her character is so good. Makes me so excited for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then we have the Punisher, which he is a blast. He makes this movie so dynamic, and he is inherently the Punisher in the way that a PG-13 movie will allow the Punisher to be. It's awesome. His dynamic between Spider-Man is so great in this movie, and I just love it so much. Obviously, we also, from marketing, Bruce Banner / the Hulk is in this movie. Some of the best moments of the movie. I almost got out of my seat, and I was in a recliner chair. I was so freaking excited to see Hulk on the big screen, like in the true Hulk fashion. It was wonderful. One of the other things I do want to mention, this is Destin Daniel Cretton's first Spider-Man movie. He also directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is a phenomenal movie. Please make a sequel, Marvel. We need one. But his director style was so perfect for Spider-Man. There's just such a beautiful directorial tone of this movie. The stunts in this movie were spectacular. The cinematography is honestly one of the best we've seen. And it's just a beautiful film. Like, it definitely feels so stylized. And the New York is definitely very stylized New York. And it feels that way. And it's wonderful. The score, Michael Giacchino kills it again with the score. It's a wonderful, beautiful score. And wonderful. One of the things I do have to say, the beginning feels a little bit rushed. But once it jumps fully into the plot, it goes from great to freaking amazing real fast. And there's some scenes in this movie that took me by surprise, and I was very shook. And the emotional impact of this film was probably the most a movie has resonated with me this year, to the point that I was bawling. I would say I'm a pretty sensitive guy and very emotional guy that sometimes tears up during movies. But there is a specific moment in this movie that welled me up and brought me to full tears that none other movie this year has done. I loved this movie, and it's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie, live action Spider-Man movie that is. Across the Spider-Verse takes the cake. But when it comes to the most satisfying Spider-Man movie, I think this one is the most satisfying Spider-Man movie. The best live action Spider-Man movie. And that's from someone who has vowed that Spider-Man 2 is the greatest Spider-Man movie. But looking at this film, this is the Spider-Man movie we've wanted. And I was so satisfied with what I got. There's no critique I have to say about this film. And that may be biased. That's recency biasy, probably. But I'm going to go see this movie again. I'll probably do the same what I did with The Odyssey and do like my reaction of the film. So stay tuned for that. But obviously, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. There's no doubt that this movie just delivers such a compelling story, and it feels so fresh for a Marvel movie. And I think Marvel's on a winning streak. We got Thunderbolts, phenomenal film. Fantastic Four, fantastic. Spider-Man, Brand New Day, I think honestly is better than the other two. So we're on a good streak, and we have Doomsday coming out later. So we're on that Marvel train, and I really think that Marvel really needs to start slowing down the train in a way of give us a movie or maybe like 1 or 2 movies a year. Let us wait. Let us yearn for these Marvel movies instead of throwing us 4 and like 6 TV shows in 1 year. I like this year we have the one big show, which is we had Daredevil. Oh, and then we have Vision Quest coming out. We had X-Men 97, and then we have Doomsday. So like I think that's a fair share of Marvel. Maybe we could have a little bit less, but I don't think we need to extend ourselves more. And next year we'll probably have even less, with like simply just maybe getting Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Secret Wars. But if you've seen this movie, please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts were. I absolutely loved this movie, and I have to say, probably my favorite movie of the year. I loved it. It was great. And please be sure to check me out on Instagram, Letterboxd, and TikTok. That's where I also post. And have a wonderful day. Bye.